Good morning, and welcome to a particularly dark version of Tinerian Rambles. My skin don't look like that in reality. It's just fucking... my camera's a piece of shit. So, what am I rambling about today? It's more of a rant today because I'm a little annoyed. So, what's this about? This is about why the devil worshiper, probably one of the very few things you can see in this whole ass video, gonna be my upside down cross, and perhaps my symbol of sulfur, and the spikes on my goddamn collar. I worship the devil. I do not like the anti-religious movement. I ain't like it one bit. Now, why do I not like it? Well, there are personal reasons we'll get to later, but first, want to lay down the logical reasons I ain't like it. I don't like the anti-religious movement because... so, most of what it does is it's just a bunch of fucking atheists or Satanists, probably usually just plain atheists, going around being like, look at those stupid, idiot, goddamn believers, too fucking stupid to realize the truth. Like, I could screenshot some fucking shit. I can... and it's a lot of, I grew up, in a strictly atheistic household, and I don't have a problem with atheism. It's really friggin' logical stance, to be perfectly honest, and I'd still be atheist if I hadn't gotten some pretty fucking solid proof. However, the whole time with shows like The Atheist Experience, I'll drop that name, I understand where they're coming from. But the whole premise of a lot of shows like that, of a lot of different YouTubers that I used to be exposed to from my dad watching them all the friggin' time, my whole envisionment of that, of the debates, air quotes, debates that they'd have on there, was that it was two groups of monkeys throwing shit at each other, and I just happened to agree with one of those groups of monkeys. It's horribly disheartening, it's often very toxic, and to be honest, the whole idea of protesting that way, by going up to every Josh, Jill, and Joe who frickin' believes in Christ, wandering up and go, huh, why? Fuck you. Religion isn't real, it causes wars, is pretty much the exact same idea. Would be like trying to protest against the cruelty of capitalism by wandering into a random fucking McDonald's and start screaming at the fucking cashier and the people who flip the burgers and pissing on the counter. Like, look, I hate capitalism. I do think that religion has caused some awful fucking shit. I do think that those mega churches are scam artists, bleeding people dry. I do think that faith healing and homeopathy kills. I think that atheism is a logical thing, and I think that capitalism, is horrible and wrong. But fucking, when you go after people like the guy flipping the burgers at McDonald's, or the random goddamn person who goes to a church, you are not solving any problems. You are just being a fuckwad and a jackass to a random person who owes you nothing, who you just shouldn't have hurt. Because, like, alright, you wanna be anti-religion? You wanna be anti-religion? Go up to those fuckers who, buy their 10 private jets with tithes. Go up to their fucking planes and, yeah, set them on fire. I'll support that, sure. Long as you ain't endangering innocent fucking people by doing it, which you probably are, because planes are a bit explosive. But freaking, yeah, I can support that shit. You want to rail against McDonald's? Go up to the fucking headquarters. Piss on that headquarters. Yeah, sure. I'll count that. I'll count that as real, serious activism out that. Don't fucking go up to random ass people on the street. Don't, go on Instagram and tweet, Jesus was a fuckwad, and tag, all those religious things, and say, oh, activism, anti-religion goodness. No, you're just being a fuckwad at that point. Now to the personal problems with it, which I feel I should mention, pretty much no matter what, simply because, we should admit our biases. I worship the devil. Like, I take it pretty fucking literally and pretty fucking seriously. You can probably see a little bit upside down cross paint on my forehead. Please don't talk about it being St. Peter's cross. I fucking know the history of that symbolism. Just leave it for another video. I promise you I'll address it. But, so, I wear pentagrams and such on my forehead almost every fucking day. I go around, my normal jewelry is an upside down cross, symbol for sulfur, aka the Leviathan's cross, and a fucking spiked collar. I wear a fucking cloak that makes me look like a cultist even if I'm wearing a bathrobe under it. I dress like I'm a black metal freak every fucking day, and I live in a city which, it's not like, it's not friggin' the Vatican City, but it's religious. I ain't living in India where, 90% of the population's Hindu. I'm living in fucking Texas, the goddamn Bible Belt. And I go to a fucking school, which is named after the frickin' Christian Trinity, that has a functioning fucking chapel in it, and at least 2 to 3 different Christian groups on campus who absolutely hold more sway than any other, organization on campus. And if I add up all the shit I've gotten from Christians my whole fucking life, in addition to the entirety of the time I have been walking around looking like the devil himself, it is far less than all the bullshit I get from fucking atheists and fucking anti-religion people who, I'll say, hey, I noticed you tagged this thing with Wicca. Wicca's a religion, right? It seems weird to tag that on an anti-religion thing. And then be like, oh, what? You gonna cry about it to God? Like, bitch, okay, first, you obviously didn't look at anything I have ever posted. Second of all, I have gotten mean shit from that avenue more than the entirety of the rude shit I've gotten from all of the Christians I have ever known. Like, let that run through your head for a minute. I am a devil worshiper, and I have gotten more shit from people who do not believe the devil exists than from people who do and really very legitimately feel that he is evil incarnate. There is something wrong with that picture. And it's so disheartening. Because, I understand that the anti-religion movement is trying to do good things and it's railing against often very personal hurt. Because most atheists are not, they don't just walk away from a church. many, especially those who are, hardline atheists, are pushed and suffer under their church until they finally find proof. Or, well, suppose not proof, can't prove a negative. But, they decide that God isn't real, and then they, are ejected as though out of a cannon from the culture of, Christianity and the church. And I understand that kind of pain, and I understand that kind of rejection and wanting to fight back against the shit that's hurt you personally, but quit being a fucking jackass about it. Because you aren't fighting, the kind of religion that causes wars when you go on YouTube and, you make shit jokes about how stupid religious people are. You just aren't. Anyway, thus concludes this incredibly ranty episode of Tinerian Rambles. Well. Just need to get that out and say it. Anyways, see y'all later. Hopefully I'll have something happier to talk about. I don't know. We'll see. Probably will. Tend to lead a fairly happy life nowadays. Bye.